Hello, and welcome to another podcast video of Severe Cinema. Nailed it. I'm Kelly.
I'm Ryan.
And today we are talking about Polar. And we are also going to every once in a while just whisper into the mic seductively.
We're turning into an ASMR channel.
Yes. If you
No.
Maybe. No. And if you couldn't hear me, because I don't have a direct feed into my ear, I said Polar. It's Netflix's original action movie starring one of my favorites, Mads Mikkelsen. You'll see him right there. I just poke his eye patch. Boop. Mads Mikkelsen's is my shits.
I liked him in King Arthur as Tristan or Tristram.
It's whatever. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his. Who else was it? Nobody else famous.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh, and Vanessa Hudgens. Yep, I remember now.
And Catherine Winnick was the chick that would answer the phone. Speak.
Oh, is that who that was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Vikings, motherfucker.
Yep. So, I forgot what I was about to say, Mr. Rhyme.
You were just starting the show, man.
Okay. All right. So, Polar. Like I said, it's a Netflix original action-heavy movie. Ryan and I define it kind of similarly, but kind of differently. For me, it's like a John Wick. I mean, you see long hair, hitman type. John Wick meets like Edgar Wright. Like Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Those type of movies, like it's kind of fun and like the action, like there's lots of action and sex and stuff like that in it, but a lot of it seems kind of over the top and just for the sake of itself. How did you describe it when we talked about it before?
John Wick meets Smokin Aces.
Yeah, that's right. I remember because we were trying to figure out what the hell the name of that movie was.
Yep.
I'm very on board with that. John Wick meets Smokin Aces. You usually do like the plot rundown. You want to go ahead and give that to us?
Yep. Okay. Since I watched it again today.
Oh, nice. It's been like 3 weeks for me.
So, Mr. Duncan, who you see in the background, is a hitman about to turn 50, and with his little hitman company that he works for, it is their policy that all hitmen and women retire at the age of 50, and then they get a payout. And the payout varies according to how well they did. So he was looking at like $8 million that he was going to get.
Pension for him to retire on.
Yep. And so the head guy, who's a overweight
sadist.
Yeah. Which I think that character was played very well. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the head of the hitman company didn't want to pay out on this, and so he was just going to have him killed. And it's written into the contract that if you die before you reach age 50 and receive your payout, then it just goes back to the company. And
if I could jump in real quick.
Sure.
And from what I gathered, it seems automatic. Like the bank drafts and everything seems very automatic. So even like the head of this company, if he hit his birthday, would not be able to stop that payment. It would go through, period, unless he was somehow declared dead before he turned 50. Just boom, automatically. Because he was desperate about the timeline. Mm-hmm. Like it had to be before his birthday. If he died after his birthday, the $8 million still goes into whatever account, and we lose it as a company. So I don't know exactly how that system works, but it was, bam, birthday. Shit's important.
He was crazy about the timeline.
Yeah.
Getting it done. And I'm sorry, this guy does not look like he's 49. I mean, he's actually 53. The actor's 53, but he doesn't look 49 to me.
No. He does not look like basically a 50-year-old. Mm-hmm. Like not to me, no. Oh, man, I can't wait to see him in whatever Hideo Kojima's game Death Stranding ends up being.
I know nothing of this.
Oh, shit. We're going to have to say that for another time then, because we're just going to get way the fuck off base.
Okay.
But he seems to play a main character in that game, I think, maybe.
Okay.
The world knows nothing about it, really. We'll talk about
All
it
right.
later. So, continue on.
So, the movie is about this group of assassins come after him and fail. It's a very adult movie. They use many adult or many tools, including boobies and
Yep.
whatnot.
Yep. Boobies and some whatnot. Violence.
Yeah, violence. Yeah.
Violence, crud humor.
Yeah, there is some crud humor in it.
Yeah, very grown-up themes. It's not like softcore or even hardcore porn or anything like that, but there is like a somewhat graphic sex scene, lots of language. They didn't shy away from. At one point, he's being tortured. I think, if I remember right, it was just because the head boss finally got a hold of him and was so pissed that it was so hard to get him that now he was going to torture him until like just before his birthday and off him.
That's what I got from it too.
So his hubris got him dead. Because if he would have just straight up put a bullet in between his eyes, he would have got his money and would have been done. But any slide, at one point he's getting tortured, and it doesn't shy away from a lot of the kind of the graphicness of the torture.
Yep. So
Do we have a direct message?
we do. It's very old.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
make sure we weren't missing out on somebody wanting to say hi.
That little red one won't go away. I've checked it a million times, thinking the same thing you just thought.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I thought we had a viewer and we needed to be like, hello, viewer. Also, hello, viewer.
Yeah. 2 of them.
Yeah. It's nice to see you
Welcome
guys.
to the stream. If you've seen Polar, which hopefully you have, since we have the spoiler tag, and that you don't intend to watch it and you don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, you just don't give a shit whatsoever.
We would like to talk to you.
Actually, regardless of anything he just said, we still want to talk to you.
Dang.
Instead of trying to sit here and see if you fit the criteria or not, if you want to say hi in the chat, please feel free to do so.
And someone left. See ya.
Well, fuck me then. All right.
So on to the more important part of the plot.
Right.
So, years before the movie, Duncan did a job in where he killed like a whole car full, a family that was in a car, and left a little girl in the back seat alive, holding her dead brother, and she saw his face. He found out who she was, ended up like paying for her college and like giving her money in assorted ways.
Reparations for the shit that he did to her family, basically.
And then he bought a cabin next to hers in Montana.
Like South Canada,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And she recognized him, and she clearly suffers from PTSD, shown in the movie. She's real jumpy, and
Very much so.
especially when he comes around and she sees him. But anyway, he defeats Fuck Nugget and the CEO Fuck Nugget and all of the hit men and women, and kind of makes amends with the girl.
Kinda.
Yeah. Like
she at one point has an opportunity at the end to off him because it had been torturing her entire life, and all she had been dreaming about
was putting a bullet in his brain.
Putting a bullet in his brain pan. And at one point she has the opportunity, and he's allowing it to happen. He's like, because he's been dealing with the guilt and regret too, which is something that he says. He was fed bad information, and her father was supposed to be the only one in the car. And the father was the target. So he was supposed to be the only one in the car. He was going to off the dad, and boom. He didn't know there was going to be a couple of kids in there. He didn't mean for the wife and brother to get shot. He definitely didn't want anything to happen to the little girl or anything like that. They weren't the targets. So he'd been dealing with the guilt for years and years, too. That's why he'd been paying for her college, and ended up getting a cabin near her, I think, to kind of like protect her and see how she was doing and stuff like that. And so he felt guilty. She was super pissed. She had an opportunity to pull a bullet in his brain pan, and he was fine with it.
In fact, he told her to. He
Right.
says, "Close your eyes and pull the trigger."
Yep. And she didn't. And they kind of made amends. And I think one of the very last things that is said is she wants to know who put the hit out on her dad, so they can go find him together and kill him. Like maybe she had forgiven him. It wasn't entirely his fault. He was just doing a job that went wrong. Let's go find out who put the hit out on my dad and go take care of that asshole. Oh, my nose is so itchy today. Seasonal allergies, y'all. Cheers if y'all got seasonal allergies. So, that's the basic rundown of Polar. You know what we should do? We should, I don't know, we'll talk about this more off stream, but we should have, like, segments. So, like, this is, like, the segment where we give, like, the rundown or whatever, and we have, like, a pop-up on the screen. It's like, segment, or some shit. I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like a stupid fucking idea. Is what it sounds like. But no, we would just make, like, the segment screen, like, one time. And then just in editing, like, you would just, like, chop it in there and
That was
then
being
done.
sarcastic.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this another time. Y'all don't need to see mom and dad fight. It's okay. It's fine. I'm kidding. So.
Is the coffee any good, Mr. Kellee?
It is. It is fantastic. Wife is letting me know that they made it home, even though it's snowing quite a bit here right now, guys. So I'm just telling them I'm glad they got home safe. And I'm back to you guys. So, overall thoughts / review. You first, me first.
Me first.
Okay, go ahead.
I loved it. Loved it. Rose O. I forget her name.
Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
Damn it.
No, not even close.
I had one shot.
The character Cindy was so flippin' hot.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
The one that he ended up borking before, like, the attempt on his life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before her own sniper shoots her.
Right.
By accident.
Well, not by accident. Well, it was by accident.
The fact that she got hit was an accident.
Right. Well, Duncan planned it.
Oh, he bumped her up? Okay.
Yeah. Duncan knew it was coming, so he gave her a boost right into the line of fire. So
It's funny how he knew exactly when that shot was coming.
Well, I think to be fair, I think she signaled the shot, and he was watching for her signal.
It's blow time is part of that, probably.
Yeah, and I think, like, right before she went to Blowyville, I think, like, maybe she looked up at the window and made, like, a wink or a nod or something. I think she signaled
Could be.
the shot. I could be wrong.
And then he was like, boop,
And he was like, boop, and then kablah.
got it right in the
Yep.
shoulder. Now, I do have kind of a beef with that particular part.
Okay.
Now, the guy was using a high-powered rifle, so the hole that it made in her was far, far too small. And her mobility and just overall ability to move around and talk and everything was far too great.
Agreed.
She would have been completely incapacitated.
Oh, completely. The entry
Yeah.
wound would have been about the same size, like a small entry wound, but it would have blown a section of her back out.
It would have been nasty.
Boom, like a melon. Just go, bleh,
Yeah.
all over the place.
But no, it was just kind of like, beep.
Well, I have sort of the same problem with that scene also. So Sniper Dude is using a high-powered rifle and is very goddamn close. So much so that after she pops off in the shoulder and they have their little fisticuffs or whatever, Mads is behind the dude, butt-ass naked, within 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Which means that he butt-ass naked fought this chick, incapacitated her in a small way, and then managed to hightail his ass out into the wilderness and flank a dude completely without being detected in 60 seconds.
Yep.
The dude was way too goddamn close and should have seen Mads coming like a mile away. Or heard him or whatever, because he would have had to gone way the fuck around to get behind him unseen.
And why did he need to be even that far away? Why couldn't he just have snuck up to the wall outside?
Right. Just a fucking AR. Just get up in there and then just bang. I mean, he could have been at the window right fucking here.
Don't have to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, because you're a sniper. You snipe. That's what you
Yeah.
do. Like, you didn't hire no fucking window shooty guy. You hired a fucking sniper.
It was still good, though. I still liked it. But it was just like, if you've ever seen Smokin Aces, you'll instantly recognize the similarities, like just over the top, in your face, intensity. Not with the action. I mean, the action was all of that too, but like the regular character interactions too. Shut up, Junkie Jane.
Yeah, and the big thing for me that likened it to that or an Edgar Wright movie were character introductions, almost like video game style, where like they say like a catchphrase or something, and then boom, it's like a super slow-mo or still shot and their name pops up introducing them.
Like a Guy Ritchie movie.
Guy Ritchie movie. And then same thing with locations. Like there's a big-ass like red fucking pop-up anytime that you go to a new location with the title of the country or town or whatever they fucking are. Like lots of just the whole movie is just in your face.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the stream. If you want to talk about some Polar, jump in the chat.
Original. My man Mads Mikkelsen. Man, he just... I wonder what he's like in real life.
He's a dick.
Well, maybe. Like, I'm likening him to Keanu right now because long hair and John Wick-ish type movie. So it's the only reason I'm using Keanu as an example. But everybody knows who he is as a person. He's been famous long enough and done enough movies and been in the limelight long enough. Like, everybody knows what he does outside of movies. They know about, like, his charity work and how cool he is with the fans. And, like, we know who Keanu is as a person. This guy, I'm a huge fan of his. But I have no idea if he's a huge asshole or the nicest guy on the planet. I have no idea. So I'm kind of curious. I wonder what he's like.
I wonder if any actor has ever gotten to like the asshole level of like Jean-Claude Van Damme, because I guess he was like the biggest asshole in film.
Really?
Yeah, I heard.
I mean, I could see that, but I'd never heard that before. But I could see that.
Yeah, I heard that a couple of different places.
Surprisingly enough, I heard Chuck Norris was a huge asshole.
Really?
At least like in the 80s.
Well, that's when he was like judo champion and shit, and like unstoppable. So maybe his ego was just out of control.
There was a movie that he did, I think, in the 90s. It was called Sidekicks.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where I remember very little about it because I was a child. But I think like he teamed up with this kid that wanted to learn like karate or something and life lessons and like Karate Kid type shit. And I loved the movie, but it was like a couple of years after that I learned that apparently at that time in his life he was a huge douchebag. Just a fucking asshole. But I could be wrong. That was what I remember hearing when I was young. If Chuck Norris is an absolute saint, then somebody let me know. I also don't want to be roundhouse kicked in the face.
Yeah. That'd be dangerous for you.
Take my head clean off.
Now, I do know that the guy who started the Chuck Norris, or I don't know if he didn't start them, but the guy who published books on the Chuck Norris jokes, Chuck Norris sued him, like took him to court for that shit. I don't think he won, or like they didn't come to...
Do you know off the top of your head like what the basis was? Like, could he really sue for like defamation of character when every single joke in there is about how awesome he is?
It had to have been about him making money off of
his
Chuck Norris.
Namesake.
Yeah.
Basically. I guess that could kind of make sense.
And his real name is Carlos Ray Norris.
Yep. Yep. He would not have done so well.
Whoever, like his publicist or whoever, did real well.
Yeah.
In deciding, you should be Chuck.
Yeah, you should go by Chuck. Carlos Norris is such a badass. it just doesn't feel right. So anyway, back to Mads. I hope he's a good guy. I really like him as an actor. I hope he's a good guy. I liked the movie too.
Yeah,
we
got to get your
I liked the movie a lot too. For me, I liked it a lot once. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
I will.
Not out of maybe I'll end up watching it one more time. But not out of at all that I didn't like it. It just doesn't have a lot of rewatchability for me. It's one of those movies like Smokin' Aces. I saw Smokin' Aces twice, ever. I don't ever need to see it again. I thought it was good. I really liked it. It was a cool movie. I'd never really seen one like kind of done in that style before. It was a cool movie. Never watched it again after those 2 times. This one's going to be a lot like that. It was cool. I kind of liked the twist at the end where like the neurotic girl that he's trying to protect is the little girl that blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I like that little twist at the end. It wasn't so much a twist that I'm ever going to forget about it. So I'm never going to be able to watch the movie again for the first time like you can with some movies that you haven't seen in a while. I don't know. I liked it a lot. Some of the stuff, I don't know. Some of the stuff got to where it was just too much for me. Like the, I don't know, I liked the torture scene. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
But some of the big fat sadist CEO guy,
yeah,
some of his shit, like, I don't know, it just seemed, it was acted beautifully. The guy did a great job portraying exactly who they wanted him to portray. I just hated the character.
Well, I'd say he did a good job then, if you hated him.
So it's because, like, that's one of the reasons why, like, I just don't want to watch much more of that character. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But overall, I liked the movie. I would give it a solid, like, for my ranking, like a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty easily, like 7.5 to 8 out of 10, like C+. Yeah, C+, B-, around there. That's for me. I liked it. That's solid.
I'll definitely be watching it again. Probably be a few months, but
let it be a little fresher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a role-playing game that you have beaten a couple times before. You can't play it again just right away.
Nope.
Because it's just not, I just did this. But if you wait like 6 months, then it's,
and it's almost like a new game again. Yep. Which I was just reminded of something. I'm going to talk about some other movies for just half a second.
Certainly.
Back to the Alien franchise.
Ooh.
That's what we've been doing a lot of lately. I think they're making a new one. I think it's called Alien Awakening. And it's supposed to take place after Alien... Covenant, yep.
Well, good.
I think they're making another one. From what I was able to tell in my very brief Google spree, because I was busy at work today, the last I was able to read about it was November of 2018. And the article, I read the headline. I didn't even get into the article. It said something about it had been on hiatus, but they're going to start it back up soon. I'm pretty sure was what the November article said.
Okay. Good. I will
don't
watch
know
it.
anything else about it, but we'll watch it. We sure as hell will.
I loved Prometheus. I did not love Covenant.
Yeah.
But it just didn't stick out in my mind. But
I'm excited to get through. Well, I'm excited to watch Resurrection because it's supposed to be kick-ass. And then I'm excited to see Prometheus. Is the other one I'm excited for, and then Covenant. Like I really don't give a shit for it at this point. I'm not hyped for it yet.
We're still gonna watch it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The plan is for us to watch all of them except the first one. And talk about them right. That was just gestured to me. Right. Oh, shit. What else about Polar, Mr. Ryan?
So the first hitman that went after him, the big Mexican dude in the hotel.
Okay, yep. Yeah, he fucked that guy up.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about, him getting fucked up. All right, so he had a nail gun.
Mm-hmm.
And he nails his wrists and balls
Yep.
to the wall.
To the wall.
And he didn't
Literally
scream.
balls to the wall.
He didn't scream through all that. And then like he punches him in the chest or in the forehead or something. Then he screams.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wonder, like, let me try and be science about this.
Mm-mm.
Let me try and be science.
Why are you going to try?
I'm going to, okay. Okay, so maybe, hear me out now.
Okay.
So there was a lot of shit happening all at once.
Uh-huh.
Maybe the dude was in shock. Like, maybe like, he was still grunting and, like, making noises along with it. Just no, like, like, outright shit. So maybe everything was happening so fast, he didn't have a fucking chance to realize what was going on. And then, is your stomach growling? Should it be? Who asked that? Is that anybody we know?
I don't think so. Nope.
I don't know. Are you suggesting I should go eat and then eat? Just out of curiosity? Because that's something I've been told before. That I was a fat fuck and I should eat and then eat. Yeah. No, my stomach is not growling. We just ate.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway, so like he's making those noises and whatnot, but I think maybe he was just in shock. It didn't register him what the fuck was happening until like he was pinned up to the wall and dude like bam, wherever it was. I don't remember. I feel like it was like the fucking throat or forehead or something. And then it like all like hit him all at once. He was like, ah, you know. Put the mic on your stomach. That would be weird because that's where I put my dick.
Oh,
and I don't like to mix the two. Wait, I put my dick on the mic, not on my stomach. I don't. Okay, so this got way off track. I'm not going to put the mic on my stomach because it tastes better on my mouth.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. All right. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Fit Gug. We're going to go with that. So, yeah. But that scene, though, that scene was badass.
It was. I can't get on board with your science, though. I think it was just a missed opportunity by the actor.
You think specifically like it wasn't necessarily on purpose? It wasn't scripted that he not scream until he was punched in the forehead?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think they just went with it.
Okay, no doubt.
How
no doubt.
he did it.
I can see that. I can see that as a real possibility. So, science ended. Congratulations, Mr. Trump. You just officially shut down science.
Make America great again by shutting down science.
Gross. Satire, by the way. We love Mexicans. Okay.
So there.
I was going to say something else about the fat guy. So, your first time watching it, did you fully understand what was happening at that point? Because I specifically remember watching it and not understanding that the fat guy was, like, there to kill him, to kill Duncan, until after the scene was over and they talked about it. And, like, he told Chicky Poo, like, hey, this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then it all fell into place. All the puzzle pieces. I understood the setup and everything. Totally fell into place. But at the time, during that scene, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
I don't specifically remember not, like, I remember him going into the room with all the hookers, and seeing the open file with his picture and fingerprints and whatever the fuck else on the desk. But the first time I watched it, I can't remember whether or not I got it that time.
Because I think my original watch through, I thought that the fat dude was just one last mark for Duncan. Like, this is your last job before you retire. We need you to go kill this fat guy. And so he went and he did. And I was like, okay, that's what he's doing. He went to kill the fat guy. That was super easy. That was nuts. And then afterwards he talked about, like, that guy was supposed to be killing Duncan and all that. And I was like, okay, so that's what the fat CEO guy was talking about. And he said he was, okay. I was just confused about it initially.
So
That was probably my own thing.
I noticed something on the second watch. So he didn't, when he was there and like he had already done the job, he had not agreed to the job yet, which I didn't notice the first time through.
Right, I do remember that.
And so he's already killed the guy. The guy's hanging there, which those nails would not have kept him up.
Not at all. Nope. Those were like finishing nails. They would have just gone straight through into the wall. Like, yeah.
I mean, they were trying to make it like a crucifixion and shit.
Yep.
But it wouldn't have worked that way. But okay, so he had not told them that he was going to take the job yet. So he goes and somehow he got the job info before he took it. I guess so he could look at it and decide if he wanted to take it. So he goes and does it, kills the guy, and then he calls her and he says, "Okay, I'll take the job." And she's like, "Cool. We'll transfer you half the fee right now."
Right.
And so he hangs up, takes a picture of the guy, and he calls her back and he's like, "All right, the job's done. I'll send you a picture." And so in this process, he figured out that he had been set up.
Okay. That makes more sense.
It also explains why the Mexican dude was not ready for him.
Right.
Because they didn't have any confirmation that he was actually going to be there or whatever.
And that was part of the reason why it was so... Like, the whole thing was so fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what threw me off to begin with, because this is pretty early on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see, like, the kind of the A-Team assassin squad at the very beginning of the movie and, like, that little funny intro. And then the next thing you see is basically him being given this job. And then him going and doing it real quick, nailing a dude to the fucking wall, snap picture, snap fucking send, get money half done. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then afterwards it was like, okay, puzzle piece, puzzle piece, puzzle piece.
Mm.
So I just did a shit job of keeping up at first.
Me too.
Word.
I did like how he did it, though. Like, so now I'm thinking maybe the Scream thing was a scripted thing, because you remember he, like, nailed him and then, like, made him scream, and then he went prone, and then his buddies came out.
Ah, yep.
But that's just it totally would not have gone down like that.
Now I want to watch it again, because for some reason, like, I have it in my brain that, like, did he, like, cover his mouth or something
I don't
while he
think
was
so.
nailing him? No.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna have to watch that part again.
Okay.
At least that part. We're gonna have to find it in a little
Okay.
bit and watch it.
But yeah, he didn't cry for help until after all the nails were in place.
Right, and then you're right. Duncan went prone and waited for his buddies, and then pop goes the weasel. Which, by the way, like, if you play any first-person shooters, like, that's a great tactic. Like, do you have any idea how many times, like, I've killed an enemy in, like, an FPS, and, like, I see a couple of other guys see me kill, so I run into a fucking, like, house or a room or something, and turn around and just go prone. Because they come in like, where's that motherfucker? And I'm just like, boop, boop. I haven't played an FPS in forever, though, except for, like, the 2 or 3 rounds of Apex Legends I played the other day. It's been ages, like, since you and I played Titanfall.
And there's not a whole lot of shooting actual people in that as a person.
Right. Not a whole lot of, like, strategery either. Boom, boom.
Kill everything.
That's it. That was my impression of Titanfall 2. You're welcome.
I remember playing a whole lot of the first Call of Duty, the World War II one.
Yep. That was a good one.
And we did a lot of team deathmatch, and so people started. We were calling it proning. Of course, this is back in 2002, 2003, I think. And we called it proning, where you encounter an enemy, bloop, hit the button to go prone. You go prone and shoot them, and they try to shoot you and fail.
Right, because they have to, like, track you down.
Mm-hmm. And so we played on this one server. It was called Queen's Own Rifles. It was a bunch of Canadian guys that ran it.
That makes sense.
And they made a rule saying that a server rule saying you couldn't do that, and I was completely fine with that.
Yeah, because that's kind of a yeah.
Cheese.
I played on plenty of servers that had like random rules like that to help it be a little less cheesy, especially as like Call of Duty advanced. Lobbies with like no quick scoping and no. There was one. So in Modern Warfare 2, quick scoping was a huge fucking thing.
What is quick
scoping? So I played on console at that portion of my life.
Okay.
And so console FPSs tend to have something called aim assist.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
As you go, if you're not, as you go to aim down the sights on a console first-person shooter, it will assist your aim, and it will help you track to that player.
Like it kind of snaps
to? Yeah, it'll snap to a player. Quick scoping was finding a middle ground. So if you were firing a sniper rifle from the hip, of course you'd be wildly inaccurate. If you aimed all the way down the sights, then you're looking at your target, and then you also still have that wave, and you're still running, and it's still moving and bumping. Quick scoping was tapping the trigger long enough for you to start aiming down the sights, and so it would snap to that player, but then you would release it and fire at the right time so that it basically snapped to the player and fired, and it was like a guaranteed hit every time.
Okay.
So you could literally, like, people were quick scoping like the craziest shit. They would jump off crazy high buildings that the fall was sure to kill them, spin in a circle like fucking crazy.
Is that what 360 no scope?
Well, no scoping is doing that without scoping it at all.
Okay.
Not even quick scoping. But literally, they would spin, and as long as they started aiming down the sights when they were pointed in a player's general direction, if they timed it right, they could fire and kill every time.
Okay.
And so for a while, Modern Warfare 2 became just quick scoping. Like, who could quick scope who first? Who could just snap kill, the best and the fastest. Well, I sucked at it for quite a while, so I don't want to play with that shit. So I found servers that there was a bottle cap.
Okay.
So I played on servers that didn't have that, but I mostly played on hardcore servers anyway, because I got tired of the bullet sponginess.
Well, that's 35 minutes, Mr. Kelly. You want to do some final thoughts?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and give mine first. I liked this movie a lot. I gave it like a solid C+, B-. There are things that I think could have made it a solid B or B+ even, in my little rating system in my mind, but I still liked it a lot. And because of some of the curiosity that I've gotten from this conversation, I'll probably end up going and watching it again, and maybe I'll fall in love with it more and it'll become more of a favorite. But I'll be completely honest, I don't want a sequel.
Okay.
And they kind of set it up for one, with her being like, okay, let's go find out who put the hit out on my dad. Like, they were going to team up and stuff. I can't imagine a world where the sequel ends up being okay. As good. I can't imagine it. So that's kind of my final thought. C+, B-. I don't want to see a sequel, though.
Well, I loved it, and I would love to see a sequel.
Especially with this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, as long as they don't try it from, like, somebody else's point of view or something and get rid of Mads Mikkelsen.
It's got to be him.
Yeah.
But that is all.
He was easily the best part of this whole movie. Like,
Agreed.
Honestly, everything that I was hesitant about for the entire movie, none of it had anything to do with this guy. This guy is probably the only reason that my rating is as high as it is. The rest of the movie was good, and it had great points, and I liked a lot of it, but it would have been shit without this guy.
And the second best thing in the movie was Cindy.
Yeah, no, she was finer than frog hair, man, I tell you what.
But anyway.
I shouldn't say anymore.
So that's the Polar Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Polar. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we've got a Facebook. It's facebook.com/severecinema. If you're watching this on YouTube, we stream these live, twitch.tv/severecinema. We're on Twitter at Severe Cinema. I'm working on making a Discord channel. I don't know how yet, so I'm working on it. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/severecinema. And if you want to donate to us, we'd really appreciate it. All the donations will go towards the channel and getting it out there on Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes, stuff like that. So definitely check those out, like and subscribe, and we love you guys. As always, we'll see you next time.